And we have Mr. Dan Carter, who will be speaking on the Canadian Hemp Farmers Alliance.
Thank you guys for having me here today. My name's Dan Carter. I'm the CEO and founder of the Canadian Hemp Farmers Alliance. And this presentation is the federal, provincial, and municipal government on how we can adopt and mandate hemp into the sustainable development strategies. Essentially how your municipality can become a part of the mission of the Canadian Hemp Farmers Alliance, which is to mandate hemp cultivation, processing, product formulation, and as well research and development into Canada's sustainable development strategy. The Canadian Hemp Farmers Alliance is currently consulting to have the Canadian federal, provincial, municipal government on opening green procurement applications where governments can become the purchasers of the sustainable functional hemp-based products that will be developed at the manufacturing facilities. You will also join the Canadian Hemp Farmers Alliance mission, which is to tackle the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals by working with Canadian industry farmers, processors, product formulators, product research and developers, as well academia and government departments to develop national and international cost-competitive, sustainable, functional hemp-based products that will help to reduce the global need for further investing into environmentally unfriendly projects, such as fracking for fossil fuels, mining, and as well tree deforestation. Those three main materials right there are currently being developed for the most part into one consumer use products that are ending up in our landfills, oceans, and as well municipal drinking water that's hindering the health of humans, animals, plants, insects, and underwater plant life. The Canadian Hemp Farmers Alliance is consulting with Canadian federal, provincial, municipal governments on behalf of the Canadian hemp farmers, processors, product formulators, and as well research and developers to have hemp become a mandated crop in Canada for 1, outdoor cultivation, 2, processing, 3, product formulation on a commercial level, and as well 4, product research and development. And we know that municipalities right now have the power to sit down with their local manufacturers and encourage them to start using more sustainable materials, and hemp can help fill that role. Essentially what the Canadian Hemp Farmers Alliance is looking to do is raise $3 million, which we'd like to develop on a small scale research and development level, hemp-based functional products, such as hemp bioplastics, pulp and paper, liquid fuels, solid energy pellets, batteries, automobile parts, building materials, textile fabrics and non-wovens, as well as soil remediation materials. We're looking to just do this on a small scale level and looking to then raise the funds so that we can commercialize this within Canada in your local municipality, and as well encourage your local municipality manufacturers to start using more sustainable products, and hemp can start filling this role. And we know that your local municipality has the power to sit down with your local manufacturers and start educating them on how to use more sustainable products. Right now, the Canadian Hemp Farmers Alliance main platform is the UN Sustainable Development Goals, which was passed down from the UN in 2015, in which they're looking to have all provincial, municipal, and federal governments adopting and implementing as well a sustainable development strategy plan. And we have developed a roadmap that hemp can tackle 15 of the 17 UN Sustainable Development Goals, and we can bring this down to a local level now. Examples on how we could adopt sustainable functional hemp-based products into Canada's Sustainable Development Strategy Plan would be by opening up green procurement opportunities for their own various government departments who will be the purchasers of the sustainable functional hemp-based products from the formulation facility who will be the sellers to the government. Ways that the government departments can encourage hemp agricultural growth is by purchasing just simple products like hemp toilet paper, photocopying paper, tissue paper, paper towels, as well bags. It could even hit markets such as hemp bioplastics for your cutlery, bowls, plates, straws, and as well bags. It could as well be used for municipality uniforms, as well police, firefighter, and judge and jury uniforms within your local municipality. It could be used for new building material insulation projects, and as well for hemp supercapacitor batteries for all government and public automobiles that will be electrically powered in the future. Again, your local municipality has the power to sit down with your local manufacturers and start encouraging them to use more sustainable materials, and hemp can help fill that role. By having the Canadian federal, provincial municipal government adopting functional hemp-based materials into the sustainable development plans. This will help to reduce the global market need for further investing into things like fracking, mining, and deforestation. And this will encourage other corporations to adopt functional hemp-based materials as well into their sustainable development strategies, as this will as well encourage agricultural growth and give the formulators, processors, and farmers the ability to work out a healthy profit-sharing contract, which in turn will allow the farmers, processors, and product formulators to expand at the same rate, creating millions of jobs both nationally and internationally to help advance the UN Sustainable Development Goals. Some simple jobs that would be created if there was a procurement opportunity opened up. Jobs such as government departments, researchers and developers for developing new products, processors, product formulators on a commercial level, agricultural farmers, and as well marketers within brokerage, as well distribution. And as well, new business owners will as well be able to get involved within different demographics, such as women, youth, and indigenous. From the 2018 year, the Canadian federal government of the Environment Minister released their carbon emission plan, which essentially in 2018 alone, 1.5 trillion pounds of carbon emission was emitted into the atmosphere through all major industries just in Canada. The good thing is hemp can sequester, if grown on a fibrous dense crop, 20,000 pounds of carbon sequestration per acre per 100-day crop cycle. Canada would need to grow 77.5 million acres of hemp just in 1 year to sequester just 2018's carbon emissions. The good thing is that Canada has 232 million acres of of agricultural farmland available right now for cultivation, and as well we can encourage crop rotations. If Canada was to just grow 1/3 of the total farmland in 1 year, that would sequester 100% of the 2018 emissions. If Canada was to just grow 14 million acres from year 2020 to 2030, this would sequester 100%. Canada is currently only growing 150,000 acres, which is contributing to 3 billion pounds of carbon sequestration. And within the Canadian Hemp Farmers Alliance, there's 25 members collectively growing 5,000 acres of hemp, which is contributing to 1 million pounds of carbon sequestration for every 100-day crop cycle. There's some facts here that I'd like to state within how hemp used to be a mandated crop back in the day. Back in 1533, King Henry VIII, King of England as well, fined farmers for not growing hemp. As well, in the early 1700s, law required American farmers to grow hemp or they would be fined. In 1801, Peter Hunter, which was the lieutenant governor of the province of Upper Canada, he was told to distribute seeds for free to the farmers, and the government would then purchase the hemp product and use this for export sales for economic growth. In 1916, the USDA published findings showing that hemp produced 4 times more paper per acre than wood does. And as well, hemp only takes 100 days to mature, whereas trees take 8 to 25 years to mature for use. It was then in 1924 when DuPont hired Charles Stein, who was the vice president, which he created the laboratory to make nylon. Charles Stein later hired Dr. Wallace, which he invented nylon. It was in 1935 when nylon became commercially available in America and across the world. It was in 1936 when William Hearst's wood-based newspaper facility sees hemp being as competition. His newspaper put out fake propaganda around hemp and used racial fear tactics to manipulate civilians and governments about the true benefits of hemp. William Hearst as well used chemicals from DuPont for his wood pulp and paper industry. The movie Reefer Madness as well in 1936 came about. It was released and it had members in it like Harry J. Aslinger, who was the Federal Bureau of Narcotics. He was invested heavily into DuPont as well as the wood pulp and paper industry with William Hearst, who put out the fake propaganda. It was in 1937 when the Marijuana Tax Act was drafted, and it was drafted by Harry J. Aslinger and Andrew Mellon, who was a banker and secretary of the treasurer and one of the richest men in the nation, who as well was heavily invested into DuPont. They wanted to protect their financial interests. These parties conspired to make hemp illegal, as well made it impossible to obtain research funding to make hemp or cannabis-based products. We're looking to present this in front of Privy Council and have this become a mandated crop within Canada. And as well, we'd like to see how we could work there and conduct commercialization within any of these hemp-based products.
Thank you, Dan. Is that it, Dan?
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate it.
Okay, thank you, Dan. I'm going to open it up to council if they have questions. Anyone, please? Yes, Ian first and then Claus.
Dan, I agree with you. Probably there are a lot of, there's definitely lots of uses for hemp, and anything that goes to help make sure that we reduce our carbon footprint, I think is a great idea. I guess one of my main questions though, Dan, is where does this stuff go? Like, where's the factories? Where's the shipping, storage, all this stuff for the hemp stuff? I think that's probably one of the biggest, downfalls to everything is the infrastructure that goes behind it. I'm sure there's lots of farmers that are out there that would gladly grow hemp or produce hemp or whatever, but at the end of the day, it has to have somewhere to go. And if there's nowhere for it to go and there's nowhere for them to sell their crop, then or to make money, then I don't think that mandating something is the best avenue forward.
Right now, yeah, there's just not enough processing capacity within the hemp industry right now. And all the contracts that do have small scale, those are kind of being eaten up right now, but those markets are slowly moving forward and they're kind of breaking the ice for all of this to kind of move forward throughout Canada. So we see that Canada definitely needs more investment from all levels of government for, farmers to get the infrastructure in, to get the farming equipment in so that we can start making an industry out of this and start using more sustainable materials.
Claus?
Thanks, Reeve. Good presentation, Dan. I certainly learned some good ideas that I never knew about hemp to start with. So what is it you're looking for us as a council to do then? Repeat that. I didn't quite catch that.
So essentially what we're looking for is for one, your municipality to get the membership contract signed. We're looking to see if your municipality would be interested within investments and as well seeing how we could work together with getting local manufacturers on board as well for using sustainable other hemp-based materials.
Okay, that's your request. Thank you.
Jeff?
Thanks, Dan. I really like the presentation too as well, and I agree with you that like hemp has had a chef for over the years. And it is a product that really is, I hope, makes a strong comeback. And I know, to echo kind of what Councillor Straight said, I know there's lots of other parts that there's a problem with the processing and getting it in market for farmers to sell it to. And on the other side, I mean, I have a hard time sort of on the government side, because to me, this is a business startup, and like private funding and private money is kind of where these sort of things kind of go from. And I mean, I'll use Tweed as an example. I mean, they've spent billions of dollars before they've made money in order to get to where they need to start making money. And I don't know how government can really push too far of it, where it's just like to me, it's a private sort of building to do it. I mean, the feds might be able to offer you like tax advantages, but on our level, I love the idea, but I just don't see how government can do that. But I mean, I encourage you to keep going, because obviously don't stop with what Montague's going to say, but I think it's a great idea. But I see more of this as a private push than a government push than anything else. But anyways, thank you.
I appreciate that. And if there's any local, investors there that you see, moving projects forward, we'd love to, get in touch with them and see how we could potentially, move something forward here.
So Dan, I wanted to mention something that I know that in the early 20th century and the late 19th century, hemp kind of had a bit of a comeback in North America, and especially in Canada, and especially in Ontario, and around the Toronto area and around the Lanark County area were two of the areas in Ontario that really got into the idea of growing hemp. And it actually, for a fairly short period of time, it was a fairly vibrant agricultural business, but it actually failed. And one of the reasons it failed was not just the idea of what you brought up in the lack of processing, say, But the biggest problem with it at the time was that we did not have the proper equipment to harvest hemp. And hemp, I guess, as you know, has a lot more dense fiber than, say, most grains. And we really didn't have the machinery to harvest it. And that, I have been told, and the little bit of reading I have done on it, was that that was the biggest downfall. So it wasn't just the processing, but it was even to have the equipment to harvest it. So I guess my question to you is, like, what could you comment on that, on either the availability of this equipment now, or the lack of it, or whatever?
Yeah, for sure. So we're actually consulting for a company that they are making harvesting equipment for harvesting the fiber and as well the flower. And essentially this is going around throughout the United States, and this is one of the most used pieces of equipment. It's just an attachment that can go onto any piece of equipment that has enough capacity to hold the weight of this, I guess, front harvesting attachment that would harvest off the flower and the fibers. So that part of the industry has now been solved, and we're on that side of now, supplying farmers with, the solution.
So any other questions then, Council? Okay, seeing none. So thank you very much, Dan, and I'm sure that we'll have a further discussion on this at a little later date, but not in this meeting, I don't think. But I appreciate you coming, and we'll look forward maybe to talking to you again.
Perfect. I appreciate your time, Council, and we'll talk soon.